good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in to Moneycontrol. I'm Karunya Rao, and joining me from Mumbai newsroom is Manisha Gupta. We're here to give you an update on commodities. And Indian government clearly has, amped up their initiatives to curb food inflation. And Manisha here is here to give us an update on what's happening with the two very important commodities that you and I also use on a daily basis. Perhaps one is sugar, and the other is edible oil. Manisha, let's start with sugar and talk about the precaution measures that the government has taken so far and what's the likely way forward and the likely outcome.
Thank you for that, Karunya. Well, yes, one is that we are in a very comfortable position when it comes to sugar this year. We are looking at a record 35.5 million tons of a crop. What the government says is that we need 6 million tons as an opening stock for the next season. That leaves us with 10 million tons that can be exported. India's consumption is being counted at 27 to 28 million tons. Anything more than 10 million tons is what the government will not be comfortable with. And yes, anything more than that would also mean that we have lesser sugar in the Indian markets. That is a situation that you do not want to see in case of sugar. So what the government has done is it's taken a precautionary measure. The industry was saying that, yes, it's going to be a lot of more paperwork and you'll have to upload, uplink, apply online as the government has said. But thankfully, it hasn't been done the wheat way, where it was with an immediate effect and wheat was, on way, on port with nowhere else to go. That is something that is not happening in case of sugar. There is ample time, and this is seen as a precautionary measure. So that is where the industry at least seems to be applauding it. Well, yes, we've seen a complete sell-off coming for sugar. One, because it has run up so much, and two, the markets are still reading the fine print here on what really moves on from here on.
But is there any buzz or any talks about buying sugar stocks? Because a lot of people missed the bus when the uptick was taking place. And now that there has been a fair amount of cooling off in the last 4-5 sessions, is it a good time to buy? Is there something that you're picking up in the street?
Well, yes, this is a very temporary measure, Karunya, because this precaution or this export measure has been taken only for this current season, which is till 30th of October. So, and with 6 million tons, we are sitting comfortably on 2.5, 3 million, 3 months of a stock here. As far as the ethanol story goes, that continues to be still positive. We are way ahead of our time. We have seen those targets being preponed as well. And, interestingly, I was talking to a lot of players in the industry, and they say that, yes, very soon we will be talking about sugar sector, sugar industry as an energy sector. So, well, that transition is what could really be very positive for the sugar mills itself. As I said, we're looking at very strong support in sense of stocks right now. Next year is even better crop anticipated at 36.5 million tons, which is going to be yet another record with the way India is exporting to the international markets. And even interestingly, Karunya, if you look at the last 1 year, the global sugar prices have gained up by 20%. Indian prices have gained up by just 6%. So that is what is making us very competitive to export as well, even without an Indian government subsidy. Everywhere that you look, it looks quite positive. And I was also listening to the food secretary on press conference on sugar, and he did say that we are in a sweet spot. Arrears, most of them have been paid off, and with the way the industry is looking at right now, there are better days still coming in.
Well, that's good news. I'm sure the people who are fretting right now, given the selling in sugar stocks. But let's talk edible oils as well. The government has allowed import of edible oils for 2 years at zero customs duty and agri cess. Now, what does this mean? And does it mean, is it good news for consumers as well?
Oh, it absolutely is a good news for consumers, especially when you use that much of an edible oil. Government, the first one to run up also was edible oil. So the first duty tinkering that the government did was in edible oil in the month of Feb. And since then, they have been trying to bring the prices down. Well, there's very little to achieve clearly because you're importing 60% of your edible oil requirements. So this is imported inflation that we see. And because the world knows that India is so dependent, every time you cut import duty in India, the international sellers or exporters increase prices there. So this clearly has been having a very null impact. But the industry sees this as quite positive, what has been done yesterday. This is that the crude import of vegetable oils, which is soy and sunflower, now the duty has been put to nil to this. What really happens when you are importing crude vegetable oil is that you are refining it here in India. So you're supporting the refining as an industry. The second point is that you get a straight direct impact of price decline. The markets are anticipating that with this step, nearly 4 to 7 rupees per kilo of a decline in edible oil prices is what you could see. So good news for FMCGs, edible oil companies, and many of those industries which use edible oil in cosmetics and various other industries as well.
Any other soft commodities that you'd like to flag off right now? Yes, these two are the ones which are hot right now, but anything else that investors should keep on their watch list?
Karunya, with the way the government has been trying to fight inflation and curb many of these prices domestically, almost everything really seems to have come down. We have been talking about wheat. Wheat prices have come off their highs. We spoke about sugar, where the prices we have seen some pressure. Edible oil prices have come off today. Even cotton, since that meeting that the ministry took with stakeholders and warned them of ensuring that the cotton prices stay where they are, we've seen cotton prices come up by 4.5–5% as well. So everywhere that you look, in case of soft commodities, where the government is trying to ensure that the prices are curbed, and in some cases we actually are looking at some delinking from the international markets as well. So much so has been the impact in the Indian market. So I would say that the government has been able to achieve what they tried with a lot of tinkering that they're doing with duties, whether it's imports in sense of input, or ensuring that there's not too much of an export, including steel as well. So yes, it is having an impact. How long, how much, and until when will they keep these measures on is something that the industry is now debating upon.